argue in the book is that this mantra is no longer relevant. In fact, there is too much differentiation going on. Too much. So companies try and gain an incremental advantage on their competitor by making a product slightly better in the name of differentiation. Now, as a result of this too much differentiation, we have an excess of similar offerings on the marketplace. I mean, otherwise identical products, all claiming to be different. All claiming to be different. Now, what that means for the consumer is it's almost impossible to work out the difference between superficial novelty and deep, meaningful differentiation. Deep, meaningful change. Because differentiation has become just a marketing gimmick for many business people. Now, I believe this comes from very much a traditional definition of competition. Now, if you go back to the meaning in English of the word competition, it comes from the Latin verb, which means to seek together. Right? We choose to run in the same race. And what that happens when you define competition that way is that everybody agrees to play by the same rules, and those who can do it cheaper, faster, or better will be the winners. And this is what's driven much of our differentiation and incremental changes on products and services. Now, why does this happen? I believe that the way that we all end up producing similar products, similar services, is because of our very similar educational backgrounds and similar work experiences. Now, if you think about it, it was Picasso who once said that every child is born an artist. The challenge is, how do you remain an artist when you grow up? Isn't that true? When you watch children playing, they're highly motivated in terms of design. They're experimenting in their approaches to the world, trying to work out what works, what doesn't work. Now, as they grow older, they start to learn the adult way of doing things. Okay, meaning the right way of doing things. Now, over time, we build up these patterns of this is the right way to do something. And in business, this is often called best practice. Okay, we study the best practices of an industry. This is what business school is based on, to a large extent. Studying case studies of how other companies have succeeded in a market, so that when the students get out in the industry, they can replicate that success. Now, it's no surprise that education reinforces this. This is actually the way our brains work. Okay? Cognitive sciences, current understanding of how the brain works, is as a self-organising information system. Meaning that information comes to us from the world around us, right, through our senses. We take that information in, and our brain sets it up into patterns that we can use over and over again. Okay, they call it patterns of perception. So if you see the red up there, that indicates the incoming information, and then the green arrows represent the brain setting that information up into patterns that it can use again and again. And it's great that our brains work this way, because if they didn't, I mean, life would be impossible. You wouldn't be able to get dressed in the morning, you wouldn't be able to drive a car. All of those things that we do on automatic pilot without thinking, it's because of the brain's amazing ability to set up and reuse these patterns. I often think of this as a production line metaphor. Really? Because the information is coming in and the brain is setting it up into patterns that it can efficiently use again and again. never try and compete with Charlie Chaplin on the screen. So I'll try and get away from that right now. Now, to show you how powerful this can be, I'm going to show you a quick video clip. Now, I'm not sure how big this movie has been in Germany, but has anyone here seen a movie called The Shining? Raise of hands.
Shining.
The Shining. Yep.
Jack-Nicholson.
What's that?
With Jack-Nicholson.
That's Jack-Nicholson, yes, in the lead role. So The Shining is one of the greatest horror films ever made. I mean, scary, scary stuff. Okay. As you can see, this woman is not having a good time. Now, they had a competition recently, about 2 years ago, for editors to see what they could do, how they could exercise their skill. Now, the rules of the competition were simple. They had to take a famous film and create a new trailer for it. You know the introduction trailers, a couple of minutes? A new trailer that would shift your perceptions of what that film was about. Now, the rules were simple. You had to keep all the visuals the same, but only change, you could only change 2 variables, the voiceover and the soundtrack. Again, shift your perceptions of what that film was about. So this is what the winner came up with.
Meet Jack Torrance.
I'm outlining a new writing project.
He's a writer looking for inspiration.
Lots of ideas. No good ones.
Meet Danny. He's a kid looking for a dad.
There's hardly anybody to play with around here.
What's up, Doc?
Jack just can't finish his book.
I don't want to sound melodramatic, but there's no way to make it economically feasible.
Here's to 5 miserable months.
But now, sometimes what we need the most is just around the corner.
I'm your new foster father.
I'd do anything